Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'll show you the French C1 Anki deck. I'll do three things. First, I'll show you the course content. Second, I'll show you a few decks. And third, I'll show you some brief editing options. Let's get started. The first thing you do is double click on French C1. This will allow Anki to open it. If you see this, it means it has been successfully imported to Anki. I will maximize this so you can see it. And if everything has gone well, you can see the following. I'd like to begin with my first point is to show you the course content. Now, French C1 is a rather small deck. If you made it this far, there aren't that many things that you should still have to learn, but there are just a few small important things that I'd like to show you. So the first deck is the card types. I'll ignore this for now, but I'll come back to it later. Then we have chapter 1, which is about verbs, which deals with the passé simple. Now this is a tense that you can mainly see in literature. We have, okay, passé simple, what is it? Then we talk a bit about the regular verbs, and then we go to the irregular verbs. And the last part of this chapter 1 is the passive voice. How do you form it? And what is it exactly? If we take a look at the second chapter, you can see that there's a deck called French linking words. And this deck shows you the most important linking words in French, the ones that you really have to know. And this is very important if you are someone that has to take an exam in French, or if you have to structure your arguments or structure a story or create an essay, then you will need to use the words that you will learn in this deck. I'd like to move on to my second point, which is to show you a few decks. Now the deck is rather compact, so I'll just show you two. I'll go to the passé simple and I will go to avoir, study now. You can see over here the first card type, which is there is a sentence and there's a blank. You have avoir PS for passé simple, and he had a rough childhood translation and then a picture for that part. Now your job is to fill in the blank. Now that's what you have to do for the first card type.
Il eut une enfance rude.
He had a rough childhood. You can see over here avoir passé simple conjugation table, and you can see how you have to conjugate it. Now, as this is a literary tense mainly, there's not that much explanation for it. It just shows you how to conjugate it. You probably won't use this tense actively that often, but it is good that you know how to use it somewhat, because you'll come across it if and when you read books. Now again, you have to fill in the blank. That's card type number 1. I'd like to show you card type number 2 now. Now for this one, you have to actually conjugate. You have to type in the correct answer. Let's type this.
Il eut une enfance rude.
And voila, we were correct. Now, if you were correct, you see it in green over here, and again in green over here as a small reminder. And the same thing remains. You see conjugation area over here. If you click on this, you can hear it again.
Il eut une enfance rude.
And you see a link over here. Now, strictly speaking, you don't actually have to pronounce the passé simple, as it's just a literary tense. But if you want to, I've added an audio file so you can actually hear what that's like. Imagine you had the wrong answer. Imagine you type in this.
Vous eûtes raison.
Now you can see that the incorrect part has been marked in red, and you can see the correct answer over here and again over here. So if you make a mistake, Anki shows you what you did wrong and what you should have done better. Now that's the second card type. You have to type in the correct answer. And now I'd like to show you the third card type. Is where you see it in French, the sentence over here. What you have to know in English.
Il eut une enfance rude.
He had a rough childhood. So the third card type is see something in French, what you have to know in English. And the fourth card type is that you can see something in English, but you have to know it in French.
Il eut une enfance rude.
He had a rough childhood. So those were the 4 card types. I'd now like to show you another example, which is the deck on French linking words. So you can see again, this is the first con type. You can see that there's a sentence, but there's a blank over here. What is the correct answer?
Normalement, je devrais aller au match, mais demain je suis occupé.
You can see over here, mais is a way to say that there's a contrast between two things. I would like to go to the match, but tomorrow I'm busy. So you can see there's a small contrast. If you like to show contrast in whatever it is that you're making, you can use this word. She likes either relaxing or taking walks. So there's an either or construction. But how do you say this in French?
Elle aime soit se reposer, soit se promener.
Soit. Either or. Let's take a look at another example. He's really good in playing chess, and then you have a blank over here. In fact, he is the world champion. Do you know the correct answer? It's actually quite similar to English.
Il est vraiment bon aux échecs. En fait, il est le champion du monde.
En fait, there's a liaison. We like to connect ideas or arguments with each other. These linking words are used often in the liaison category, and en fait is a really popular one. Let's take a look at the final one. You can see over here there's a blank, and you can see that there's a problem. I'm writing to you because I have a problem in the apartment. As a matter of fact, there's a water leak. How would you say this?
Je vous écris car j'ai un problème dans l'appartement. En effet, il y a une fuite d'eau.
Now again, you're linking two ideas with each other. As a matter of fact, there is a water leak. I'd like to show you one more example. She loves to watch romantic films. Elle aime regarder des films romantiques. And then blank blank, Titanic.
Elle aime regarder des films romantiques, par exemple Titanic.
Or in French, as they say, Titanic, but in English it's Titanic. And this is an illustration. If you wish to illustrate your point, if you wish to give an example, then linking words in the category illustration are used, and the most famous one is par exemple. Now I'd like to go to decks again, and this was it for the overall decks explanation. Again, it's not a super big deck, French C1, but I'd like to show you the third part, which is the editing options. I'll go to browse, and you may have noticed that there was another deck called card types, and I'd like to show you what that was. Now normally we have seen that for every sentence there are 4 card types. We have the normal one where you fill in the blank. We have the second one where you have to type in the correct answer. Now again, you can't see it here because I'm in preview mode, but you have to type in the correct answer. The third one is that you see a sentence in French, but you have to know it in English. And the final one is that you can see a sentence in English, but you have to know it in French. Now this is a normal one. There's also a beginner friendly one, which is just the first 2 options. That means that you have to fill in the blank and you have to type in the blank, so you don't have to translate. Now, how do you know which one to use? If you already have some experience and you know what you like, you know that you like to translate, then please use the normal one. If, however, you're not that sure, you think, it's a bit too much with me with all the translation, I like a simple version, then please choose the beginner friendly one, which means for one sentence you have 2 card types, which is fill in the blank and type in the blank. But how do you go from one to the other? It's very simple. Go to browse, you go to card types, and then you check if you have it. If you do, that's good. We go over here, take it out. We take it out, it's been successfully removed. We go to browse, we go to French C1, we click, doesn't matter which card, Control A or Command A, right mouse click, change node type, and then we go to beginner friendly. We choose, we click on OK, yes, and you can see that for every sentence there are just 2 card types. You can verify this as well if you go to French linking words, for example. This is already the second one, so perhaps it would be better if I show you all your verbs. You can see over here there is the blank.
Paul, ils, lorsque,
And again, there is the part that we have to type in the correct answer. I'll just type in something quickly.
Paul lança la balle au receveur, tandis que les autres garçons lancèrent la balle au voltigeur.
And you can see that there are only 2 card types per sentence. Finally, I'd like to show you one more editing option, which is if you click on this icon over here, you can go to options. You can see that there's a part over here called new cards per day, and you have something over here called reviews. You can see that you can change how many new cards you can see per day, and you can see that you can change how many you will do on maximum on a day. My advice to you is that you have to pick, or you should pick, something that you know that you will actually do. It's best that you actually do these exercises every day, so you can create a habit. If you feel like it's too much, just lower the amount, and you can increase it once you have created the habit and you know that you actually do them. Now that's that for this lesson. If you have any more questions, please write them in the comments below or send me an email. You can go to languageatlas.com, where you can find this Anki deck and many more. There are also many helpful lessons that I really think that you should have a look at. Thank you for taking a look at this video. I really wish you the best of luck on your French language learning journey. And once again, I would like to say best of luck, and I wish you a good day. Goodbye.